Could Wolverine survive Hitman's Agent 47? Let me know down in the comments right now what you guys are thinking about this, because I need to know. I need to know. And matter of fact, I'm not even going to say anything. We're just going to hop right into it, because come on now.
Have you ever wondered what happens when the world's most perfect assassin gets hired to kill a man who literally cannot die? Today, we're going to find out. A shadow corporate lab with no name and no address issues a 9-figure wire transfer to the ICA, handing over a blank check contract for the life of James Logan Howlett. We know him as Wolverine, a man whose cells rebuild faster than bullets can tear him apart, making him the ultimate nightmare for any hitman. So, how do you permanently put down a mutant whose body treats death like a minor inconvenience? Agent 47 knows a sniper rifle won't cut it against that skeleton, so he brings a biochemistry textbook instead of a silver baller. Encounter 1.
Instead of a silver baller.
It starts in Alberta at a dive bar at the edge of nowhere. The kind of place with sticky floors and a jukebox nobody ever touches. Logan is 3 whiskeys deep and sitting alone at the far end of the counter, looking like a man trying to forget a past that won't stay buried. The bartender wipes down the counter with calm hands and steady eyes. But that isn't a local.
Wolverine would start sniffing him out from right there. He'd be like, something's wrong, bub. Nah, I mean, I don't know if Hitman, I know Hitman's probably like, he's probably not normal. He probably doesn't have like a normal scent that people would usually have to somebody who can sniff that out, like, or to an animal, like, you know, that can sniff that out, basically. So this situation is, he'll see him make one move, he'll take the claws out, and then he'll just put it through his neck. Like, yep, good try, bub.
Employee. It's 47. He's been here for 6 hours already, learning Logan's rhythm and his pour preference, while watching the exact way he tilts his glass before he drinks. The 4th whiskey gets something extra added to the glass. It's a custom synthesized heavy metal isotope that is colorless and odorless, designed specifically to bind to adamantium at the molecular level. The isotope latches onto the metal surface and begins blocking cellular mitosis at the bone marrow level. This is where the science gets brutal. Wolverine's healing factor isn't magic, it's metabolism, and it burns through enormous caloric energy to maintain tissue repair at that speed. And now his immune system is forced into a full-scale emergency response, and then the coughing starts. Black blood hits the bar top, and he's off the stool with his knees buckling, while one hand slaps the counter for balance. 47 keeps wiping the counter. From the outside, it looks clean, like a man having a cardiac event, and the bar goes quiet the moment Logan hits the floor. 47 reaches under the counter for the phone and plays the part of the concerned bartender, but his mind is already calculating the extraction. But then, Logan's core temperature spikes, and the isotope compound starts getting pushed out through his skin, meaning his body is literally cooking the poison out of itself faster than it can accumulate. Logan's claws punch through the floorboards as he drags himself upright. His eyes are red and
I don't think he can really get poisoned that easily. Whatever biology book that 47 was reading, it's not going to work on Wolverine.
Watering, but they are absolutely locked onto 47. He can smell it through the whiskey, through the sawdust, and through 6 hours of bartender cover. Wolverine's survival chance, 85%, tier A. The chemical approach failed. Not because the science was wrong, but because Logan's biology is an adaptive system rather than a static one. 47 doesn't panic. He's already moving toward the back exit because the bar was never the kill box. Logan is weakened and running hot, burning through his reserves fast. 47 has been building the real trap for the last 3 days. Logan follows the scent straight into it. Encounter 2. The magnetic decapitation trap. The abandoned
Oh.
foundry sits 3 miles east of the bar. Agent
Okay,
47
wait, hold
picked
on.
this spot 8 days ago and spent half that time installing the equipment himself. He had to work in tight 2-hour windows to avoid Logan's known patrol patterns, but the preparation was worth the effort. Logan doesn't know any of that, of course. He just knows the scent trail leads right here. And when you're as angry as he is, that's really all the information you need. He tears the side door clean off its frame and steps into the darkness. 47 triggers the array from the upper catwalk. 6 industrial electromagnets mounted across the foundry walls roar to life at once.
This
all
might be
tuned to a very specific resonance frequency. Here's the science.
But then again, the magnetic decapitation trap, like, oh, so is he gonna have the magnets all try to pull on his skeleton and just like, yeah, that might, that's smart. That's smart. Okay, wait. Maybe. But then again, adamantium's like strong as hell. So I don't know if adamantium has ever been like ripped through or anything like that. I don't know. So let's see though.
That matters. Adamantium is
I'm surprised
a
though.
steel-based alloy. Logan's entire skeleton becomes a magnet in an instant. He leaves the ground in half a second and gets slammed hard against the far wall, pinned at his shoulders, hips, and wrists until he's completely immobilized 6 feet off the concrete floor. 47 steps out of the shadows on the catwalk above, holding a cutting tool that the Corporate Labs engineering team spent a fortune developing. It looks like a modified industrial laser, but the actual cutting element is a high-frequency carbon osmium blade. It runs at a vibration frequency that can slice through biological tissue at the cellular level. This is the actual kill logic, and it's the part that makes this trap different from everything else Logan has faced. Adamantium is unbreakable, and the comics are very explicit about that, but the cartilage and connective tissue between Logan's neck vertebrae are just normal biology. If you can hold the body completely still and sever the connection between the brainstem and the spinal column, you interrupt all neural communication permanently. And if there's no brain function, there's no healing. 47 starts cutting. Logan is screaming now. He's throwing every ounce of strength he has against the magnetic field and barely moving an inch. The isotope from the bar is still burning through his reserves, which means he's running on empty and he knows it. The blade is only 30 seconds from finishing the job. Then, suddenly, Logan goes quiet. There's a main power conduit running along the foundry wall just 6 inches from his right hand.
This is while his neck is being cut. Like, his neck is being cut right now. Keep that in mind. It's the animation is showing like different stuff, but you get it.
His bone claws, the ones in his non-dominant hand that aren't fully coated in adamantium in certain comic runs, can still move. He flexes his right hand hard against the magnetic pole. Gets bone claws, the web. Then, suddenly, Logan goes quiet. There's a main power conduit running along the foundry wall just 6 inches from his right hand. His bone claws, the ones in his non-dominant hand that aren't fully coated in adamantium in certain comic runs, still move. He flexes his right hand hard against the magnetic pole. Gets the bone claws out.
Some of his claws in some cases are not fully coated in adamantium. That's interesting. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys know about that as well. That's kind of badass too. I like that. So he has like one bone claw joint, one adamantium claw joint. Like basically that's kind of tough.
By 2 inches and drives him sideways into the conduit casing. The foundry goes completely dark as every magnet dies at once. Logan drops 6 feet and hits the concrete on all fours, gasping for air with his neck half severed and already knitting back together. Wolverine's survival chance, 40%, tier C. 47 is already moving to level 3 because the magnets were never the end game anyway. Encounter 3, the deprivation chamber. The lower levels of the foundry weren't on any blueprint 47 could find. So he had to map them himself 3 weeks before the contract even started. He walked every inch of the sub-basement with a flashlight and a laser measure until he found the testing silo. It's a reinforced concrete cylinder, 12 feet wide and 30 feet deep. The walls are 8 inches of poured concrete with a steel rebar lattice, and the blast doors at the top seal with a hydraulic lock that can handle 40,000 pounds of force. 47 retreats toward it now, moving fast through the lower corridor and drawing Logan's scent trail behind him like a thread. Logan drops through a maintenance hatch at the far end and hits the corridor running with his claws out and his body still healing. He's following pure instinct at this point because the rage has taken completely over, which is exactly what 47 is counting on. An animal chasing its prey doesn't usually stop to check where it's going. Logan runs straight into the open silo, and the blast doors seal shut behind him in under a second. 47 hits the panel on the wall, and the chamber pressurizes immediately. What starts flooding in looks like foam insulation, but it's actually a fast-expanding polymer resin used in aerospace construction to fill structural voids. It bonds to concrete, metal, and skin. And once it cures, it's completely oxygen impermeable. This is the science 47 is betting everything on. Logan can heal tissue damage at a cellular level, but his brain cells are still neurons that require oxygen to function. The healing factor can revive him. The comics show that clearly, but only if there's enough neural activity left to issue the command. If you keep him in a zero oxygen environment long enough, that signal never comes back. You aren't killing him with the resin, but rather trapping him in a loop. He's dying and reviving and dying again. He gets halfway up the chamber wall before the resin locks his legs solid, and he gets one arm free for a moment before that goes too. The monitors flatline at 4 minutes and 11 seconds. 47 stands in the corridor and allows himself one slow exhale. The contract is functionally complete because Logan is neutralized, preserved, and packaged. Wolverine survival chance, 5%. Tier F.
Damn.
Then, the proximity alarm on the upper level starts screaming. 47 looks at the monitor feed from the foundry entrance and goes completely still. Something very large just drove a vehicle through the outer wall. Encounter 4, the Punisher intervention.
What?
The smoke starts to settle in heavy layers. Through the haze, a figure walks in carrying enough heavy hardware to level an entire city block. It's Frank Castle, the Punisher. And he's got a multi-barrel railgun braced across his arm with enough incendiary explosives strapped to his chest to qualify as a demolition crew. He isn't moving like a hunter searching for prey, but rather like a man who already knows exactly what he came here to destroy. Agent 47 runs the math in under 2 seconds and realizes Castle isn't here for Logan or the contract. Frank likely tracked this corporate lab through his own channels weeks ago, and tonight just happened to be the night he decided to burn the whole place down. Without saying a word, Frank opens fire on the main control console. The railgun tears through the monitoring station like it's made of wet paper, shattering every panel and shredding the hydraulic lines until the silo's containment field drops offline in 4 seconds flat. The pressure differential is so intense that the blast doors don't even slide open. They just get ripped sideways off their mounts. Because the polymer resin is no longer pressurized, it cracks along the cure lines as the entire mash shifts.
Sir.
Logan hits the floor face
He's
first
back.
and stays completely still for 3 full seconds. Then he pulls in one ragged, desperate breath, and his healing factor doesn't just slowly wake up. It slams back online like a circuit breaker tripping. His eyes are blank, and his chest is heaving. Frank looks at him once, decides he isn't an immediate threat, and keeps moving deeper into the facility with a thermite charge in each hand. 47 watches the scene unfold on the one flickering monitor left in the corridor. He sees Logan breathing. He sees Frank disappearing into the lower levels. And he watches the biometric flatline on his screen reset to a steady pulse. With a fully healed Wolverine and a fully armed Punisher in one corridor with only one exit, the math produces exactly one result. 47 pulls a thermal smoke grenade from his coat, cracks it, and drops it at his feet so the heat masking can swallow
Wolverine and the Punisher.
By the time Logan's nose
is a cool team up, low-key.
47 is already gone. The ICA will log this as a failed extraction rather than a defeat. And to a professional like 47, there is a massive difference. He's already thinking about the debrief. 47 opens his encrypted ICA terminal to find the screen flashing the words, "Contract failed." He stares at the notification for exactly 1 second before a new file loads automatically.
He got the Punisher
contract.
contract.
Frank Castle, followed by a bounty with 9 digits. If you want to see what happens when 47 finally takes that contract, make sure to subscribe and leave a comment.
I kind of like this. I like that. I'm liking that we're getting 40 Agent Hitman 47 videos, you know, against these characters. They're kind of interesting. Like he technically had Wolverine. He technically did beat him. So I'm completely surprised about that. I kind of wanted to see Wolverine get up to him and just like rip him apart with his claws. But of course, you know, Hitman, Agent 47 is definitely a professional, and he knows not to even get within 10 to 20 feet of Wolverine. Otherwise, he'll close that distance so fast and it's already over. Are you guys as surprised as I am about that? Because I thought for sure Wolverine was gonna cook 47. Then again, like I wasn't really thinking about how, you know, 47 thinks, and I'm sure he's well prepared every time, and he's able to adapt. Pretty cool. Let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comments below. Hit that like button, hit that sub button if you haven't already. I appreciate you boys. Stay tuned tomorrow for the next Nerd Science John as usual. Hopefully we get the Agent 47 versus Punisher story, because that would be kind of cool. I kind of want him to, I kind of wish Nerd Science did like a story type of John that we could follow through, like how he did with this. Like, you know, Hitman met Wolverine, and then Punisher came out of nowhere, and now Hitman's like has a contract for Punisher, and they might go after the Punisher. Like, I like that. So we can have, you know, a continuous kind of story just leading into like certain events. Like that would be cool. Okay, I think that would be fires. If you guys want something like that, spam Nerd Science with that, please. Spam Nerd Science with that. Because I think that would be so badass. Okay. That'll do, boys. GG's.